Yes, it's another day of cleaning because I don't have my Xbox controller quite yet. It's in Charlotte, so it should be here tomorrow or Saturday. So I'm just looking at. I'm hoping that this stream's not going to randomly crash because, well, one, right now I'm seeing that the bit rate is not stabilizing like it should, and it's telling me I've got a bunch of dropped frames. And also, I've had my internet die at least once a day since Friday. I don't think it didn't die yesterday, hasn't died today, at least not yet. So hopefully all this is going to work. Hopefully all that has made it through. Why are we still dropping frames? There's nothing else I can do without, like, yeah, there's nothing else I can do. It's just going to be stupid, apparently. Why am I dropping more frames? What is going on? Just gonna pin that. Hopefully it stabilizes, but we'll see what happens. Alright, we're gonna clean more crime scenes. Trying to where it got to. I think I did the art museum. I could ask her, I could. Trying where I got to. I literally do not know what more I can do. I bet I can crap out on me at any point. Door, okay. I think. Yeah, there's one more nightmare level, at least. I'll remember I'll do the true cleaner level real quick too. So, modern art. Yes, call in dead. Nightmare. But with this, I get a skin where my bucket can be a cardboard box. Okay. Trying to think of what else I don't want to do after this level.
It'll be a long night.
I can just do other crime scene cleaner levels.
This is it. My last stop. I've been running from my past long enough.
I'll also presume everything sounds and looks good. Okay. I'm just trying to see if I can. What to? Whichever one. I think it's supposed to be automatic. Guess we could check that. It's probably gonna be good to see if there is something I can do. Of course, it's something like it's just worked fine for forever, and today, maybe another day, it's like I'm just gonna have a problem because screw you. First, put up. What I want, you mother hacker. Let's have you. I don't know. I'm gonna have to try to figure that out. Okay, that didn't seem to do what I want. I'm willing to try stuff because I don't like it bouncing around because I was dropping my frame rate. Of course, another thing I have to be mindful of is certain things may or may not. Well, it's doing something in the settings for OBS, then I'm gonna have a issue if I can't mess with that right now since I am streaming. Uh, yeah, I just saw that stutter right there. So, oh, it's probably just as long as it gets like it's stabilized, it doesn't look bad. But I've just had it's been a recent problem recently that I've had any drop frames at all. And I don't know. I don't know if I can do anything about it. Because as long as it stabilizes at some point, but I don't know what's causing it. That's my current problem. That's just the issue I have is that I want it to look kind of good. I don't want it to look like trash. If there's something I can do about it, I want to do something about it. I guess the important question that I would have is like, is it painful to watch or is it fine? Because if it's fine, then I'm gonna not worry about it. I just don't like the fact that this is the most frames I've seen dropped while streaming at all. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what caused it. So I guess as long as nobody tells me it looks bad, I'll keep streaming. But if somebody tells me the quality drops too much, I'm just gonna just tap and say I'm not streaming today because I don't know what's causing it. Or I might like try resetting everything and try again in a few minutes. But I don't know what's wrong because this mini PC is the only thing handling the streaming, and the gaming rig's just handling the gaming. I'm not like mixing and matching where I'm having one machine trying to do both. Right now, it seems like the frame rate's stabilized. And the bitrate seems like it's stabilized. Yeah, I guess I'll just, I don't know, just don't know. And again, as long as it's stabilized, I guess I'm fine with it. As long as it doesn't look bad. That's the only thing I don't want it to be where it's just awful, awful, awful to watch. I don't. I mean, at least viewing the dashboard from my computer, it's looking fine. I mean, we're just gonna have to be. Don't want to hear me right now. That's my phone. I mean, Star Trek's awesome, so. I'm going to assume that it was just being weird for whatever reason, and now it's fine. I think I just saw it drop some frames though. What in the absolute hell? As long as it's watchable, I guess. Just let me know if it's not watchable. If it is unwatchable, then I don't know what to do. Just close out my web browser entirely. Make sure that's not doing something dumb. Okay. So. We don't clean up a factory. First, I want to find. Fountain, there we go. Forgot for a moment I had to try it as a mop. Man, Star Trek's awesome. Definitely recommend watching if you can. Deep Space Nine is the best Star Trek in my opinion. And I'm seeing the bit rate. Take it down, but then not take it down. I'm gonna try not to focus on it. Again, as long as the stream's watchable, I guess. If it's not, then I'm just gonna. I guess. As long as it's watchable, as long as I'm told not told otherwise. I'm gonna obsess over it until the cows come home, I guess, but just. Okay, I have no clue what that thing is doing. Bookie. And let's have some desertions. There were the desertions. There we go. Ooh. Yeah, at least a little bit. So just a little dead. I don't think I double tipped on anything. If I did, whatever. Let's get washing in here. Okay. Anyway, something I can do is just play through the story of this again if I need to do something else. Maybe just try to see if I can just pick a mission that I really liked doing and then just do it again under normal. Maybe just go down there. There we go. There's definitely a gimmick about this level that there's that hole in the floor where it just dumps directly into your truck, and this conveyor belt can help you just conveyor belt stuff from deeper in the level into your truck. It's real nice, really unique. Not the worst thing I could say. Let me grab my bucket and just take it downstairs. Conveyor belts and blood everywhere. I got my bucket and I can make all the blood go away, 'cause that's grody and probably a health problem. Shrink. Scrub-dub-dub. Somebody got killed down here. Just having an idea while I'm down here. There, that'll start loosening up the stains, so it'll be a little bit easier when I get back up there. Might as well. So yeah, I should have my Xbox controller either tomorrow or Saturday. 'Cause it's in Charlotte. Clean turtle bucket made by or made in Fisher Price. Well, what is what was the brand it actually had on there? It was, Fishy Mice. That's the brand apparently that made the bucket. Is Fishy Mice. Shwink. And shwink. Alright. Trying to remember which level it is that you it's like a hidden thing you can find. I think it's when you do the first mission of the second act, there's a hidden area where you can find that turtle bucket. Because you see someone who's clearly a fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I think also it's multiple times over it's referenced Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Let's clean out this truck. There's another dead body. Let me get another truck. Usually I can get in there. Push, get it clean. That's all the blood. Need to get rid of this body. Okay, work on that body. I don't like that I've glanced in. I can see that I'm slowly collecting more and more dropped frames. Yeah, it makes me really concerned that the stream's gonna either be choppy and awful to watch, or that's just gonna die at some point. Of course, if the internet just dies overall, that's Spectrum's fault. Because nothing that I know I've said is that the internet has died a bunch of times in the past few days. I think it didn't die yesterday, finally. But it started when it was storming sometime late last week, and apparently they never got it any better. Kept dying once a day. I guess maybe now they finally fixed it, because it hasn't died today, I don't think. And I don't think it died yesterday either. But just got my village to drop, waiting for it to die again. Pay $100 for it, and not even the worst storm I've ever seen in my life. Apparently knocks it out off and on for a few days. Oh, you is done. Oh yeah, I'm gonna pick it back up then. Punch, punch. I think I hear the. I'm just not gonna be really particular about a bunch of stuff today. I can tell because I'm hearing part of the cord for my mouse lightly tapping on something every once in a while. I want to get a wireless mouse because that requires batteries. And whether it's still true or not, I still feel like a wired mouse connection might allow me to. Well, no, I can come with that reason why I want to use a wired mouse or something like this, because I have a wireless keyboard and mouse for my mini PC that most of the time works. Every once in a while, it keeps acting like, oh, like there's like some. Did I got to sneeze? No, okay. Wireless keyboard and mouse for my mini PC that every once in a while just seems like it just can't process input. Yeah, lovely Spectrum. I know that they totally aren't overcharging us and just being like, well, how'd you gonna go with me? Of course, where mom and dad live. Mom and dad probably have options. It's probably just they just would rather not go through all of that. Also, for all I know, there is almost a stranglehold because it's kind of a family thing if we don't like to use AT&T for a variety of reasons. Starting with probably the, I don't know, maybe it's still a slightly petty reason of AT&T bought an employer that Dad worked for ages ago and ran into the ground. We're talking like long before you were even a consideration. We still lived in Ohio. AT&T bought out NCR, and over the years, it seemed they just ran the company into the ground. So, is that a petty reason I like AT&T? Yes. Have they another reason I'd be liked as well? Also, yes. AT&T gave me another reason recently, where apparently at some point they leaked my information. Someone's going to be in general just AT&T is just giant corporation that just. I don't know what it is about telecom companies sometimes, but it just seems like they just kind of. They can kind of develop this thing of like, well, where else are you going to go, huh? And then because we don't regulate our corporations enough here in the U.S., they're allowed to get away with whatever they want. Because it can just almost be a little more than just like, oh, whoops, did we do something bad? Oh, we'll just pay a fine and then just write it off as a loss or whatever stupid shit. AT&T recently gave me another reason to not like them because it was either them or Spectrum at a few apartments ago that I lived in, and Spectrum ticked me off for something like, fine, let's go with AT&T, which for the most part worked. But then a few years ago, oh no, we had information that leaked. But it wasn't just like, you know, oh, like name and old address apparently, and that's also like my social security number. And just overall, just like all the telecom giants seem to do, they start to overcharge eventually, and it becomes a thing of certain points like, well, what else you gonna do? You need to communicate with people, you need phone, and now in the recent 2 or so decades, you need internet. And you can try to go with other places, but it may not be anywhere near as good. I think like various cell phone providers, for example, provide internet, but you know, it may or may not be as stable or as fast as like uh, the gigabit internet stuff and all of that. Why is my bitrate so low? I don't understand what's happening. I would bring up a web browser to check that, but it's. I feel like they're one that's been around for a long time. We gonna learn something on this stream. Like how long can I stand to have my bitrate apparently dropping and being unstable before I just snap? AT&T, abbreviation of its predecessor's original name, American Telephone and Telegraph Company, which, having telegraph name today, that it is old. AT&T traces its history back to the original company founded in 1885. The modern version began in 1984 as Southwestern Bell Corporation after the Bell system breakup. Originally, AT&T was created by American Bell Telephone 1885 as a long-distance subsidiary and later merged with its corporate parent in 1889. So long time. Same with NCR. Long time, because NCR is National Cash Register, and yes, they invented the cash register back in the 1880s, I think it was.
It's hard to get used to this.
Again, just like if the stream gets to be too choppy to ever watch, just tell me. Why do you keep telling me? Because I'm neurodivergent and hyperfixated on that right now. And it shouldn't be doing it.
Contents, fragile box.
Because I just want it to work. And it's not, and that annoys me. I've had moments in the past where I've dropped some frames, and then it was just after I dropped a few frames for like a minute or two, it was good for the rest of the stream. But the number of dropped frames keeps going up, which annoys, frustrates, and concerns me. Maybe the conveyor belt's not working in this nightmare level. Okay, fine. I still just walk down the conveyor belt and go straight to that. Number of drop frames keeps dropping. I'd be a little less annoyed about it if I didn't see the percentage is now also growing as well. I'll be honest, I don't really know. I really don't know what the problem is. There's definitely system resources involved for sure. I definitely can imagine if you had a better internet. But again, I'm also coming off of several days of the internet just like crapping out, and I don't think I've been doing anything like terribly strenuous on this mini PC before starting up stream. I may just have a rule of just I stop whatever it is I'm doing on this computer like 30 minutes out from stream and just reboot everything, just give it a fresh start. Should I know some more about this as a person with a degree in computer science? Maybe, but and telecom giants are also just a pain. A degree of like you just gotta put up with it.
Allegedly self-defense.
That's where we have sown the seeds of wickedness in your heart.
Well, this is weird. This is looking like the knife and one of the bodies from the first mission. What is that about? Mother. Where are the bodies down there? Definitely part of what just bugs right now about the bitrate thing is that I don't, besides the internet dying several times leading up to this, I don't know what would have changed. I shouldn't be suddenly having a problem with bitrate. Everything should be fine. That don't help. Okay. I don't know if that started the conveyor belt, but that may have at least opened a door. This chair. Great. So, there we go. Now I can put stuff on this conveyor belt and it can go to its new home. That could include me, possibly. Okay. See if I can find another metal folding chair. It might be that's in the next area and I gotta bring it back here. Oh, no, this. Are you clean? You're clean, okay. There we go. Alright, I'm looking at OBS now. It's showing that the percentage of frames that have dropped is starting to go down. So maybe now finally everything is stabilized. I don't know what was causing a problem earlier, but... Alright, now I can probably hopefully just focus on streaming and not be eyeing my frame rate going like, please don't die, please don't die, please don't die. Don't think it's going to now, thankfully. So... There is a fountain over there. Okay. Or a faucet. Not a fountain, but a faucet. Pick up all the trash. I don't know why the control panel's so blurry. Why is... That back go there. So I'm confused about why it is like that one's running forward, that one seems to be running like backwards. Seems like a trash bag would get stuck there. I wonder if... And there probably is a lot of terms and phrases that I take from... I try to... Maybe more than I need to. I try to limit what I might say that's like a pro wrestling term. But some pro wrestling terms just work. But I probably picked up some from Star Trek, admittedly. It's a cool series. The only people that are wanting to either be completely media illiterate or just wanting to be grouches for whatever reason will complain about Star Trek being woke. Oh no, it should teach you how to be empathetic and that diversity is a good thing. Oh no. Star Trek's always been woke, yet I'm nuts. It's always been talking about diversity being a great thing. It's always been saying, hey, look at all these people from different backgrounds working together. When did Star Trek get so woke? I don't know, maybe when it debuted in the 1960s. You idiots. Back then, Star Trek get in trouble for, like, oh my god, you had a white man and a black woman having a kiss, and then some of the studios in the southern U.S. that were part of the Confederacy were like, oh, we're not going to air it, because we're hateful little shitheads, and we don't admit it. We'll admit that we're wrong. We want slavery. Women to be subservient. We won't admit it. Of course, I will admit it. But... Anyway. My goal live is to just stop staring into the void, and here I am rambling about the void, but I can't help it, because... Yeah, world people are stupid. In a way that's just dangerous, but whatever. Yeah, I love Star Trek. It's something that I've watched with Dad a lot. Usually how I've watched a lot of movies and shows is just Dad's having to watch it. I sat down and watched it with him. Happened with Star Trek's. Happened with quite a few movies. Star Trek is part of why I believe in a better tomorrow, is that that's the tomorrow that we can have. Not just the phasers and the warp drives and the replicators and all that, but just a world where everybody has what they need. If you need food, water, shelter, healthcare, it's just available to you. You don't have to work. You just, get it. I probably could do it more often than I do. I definitely do. I don't know how to say stuff like Worf. I think what the reality is that it's not that I talk like Worf or like anything, but just I just take a bunch of various ways that various things have been said and just randomly say them to amuse myself. So there's probably various sayings of Worf's I say, just to crack myself. I am not a merry man. And today is a good day to die. And yeah, Worf is... Yeah, that's soap and tags from a spa level. That's weird. And then there's... There's definitely a Quark, the bar owner from DS9. I could probably, reference him from time to time of just about the rules of acquisition. But then there's also more so like Odo, who is the constable, the chief security officer of DS9. Quark! And insulting poor Rom, like, Rom couldn't fix a straw if it was bent. Just think about how very stupid Rom seemed to be at the beginning, but it seemed like it was more of, not that he was stupid, it's just need to find what he's really good at. So I try my best not to say that anyone's stupid per se. It might just be like, no, you just haven't found what they're really smart about. Because if you were to try to put me in like a fashion house where I'm supposed to do fashion stuff, for example, I might flail around. But you put me with, hey, can you like solve this programming thing? I could probably do that. Hey there, buddy. Let's just get those out of you. Oh, yeah, so I need to... You can calm down, sir. Okay, we're just gonna walk over here, do a jump, and we'll do a boop. Okay. Then there's Garrick from DS9, who is a plain, simple tailor, except he's not.
Huge guy. Probably a bodyguard. Swiss cheesed with a sharp object.
Well, that sounds like how Kowalski would talk. I need to rotate Star Trek more to my regular watching if I can, especially if I can just find a way to like get the episodes once and just own them in all perpetuity. I don't have to keep paying for a streaming service or worry that's going to be taken off one day or whatever. Didn't mean to break all of that. Okay. Need to get up there at some point at least. Nope. Trash bag goes here. Yeah, I need to get up there, and the way to get up there... Ooh, a ladder. And we walk over here. Make the blood go away. I I need to clean them up because it's dirty. I watched bits and pieces of some of the newer Star Trek series with Dad. I know I've seen a few episodes of Strange New Worlds, which is it's kind of a modern reimagining of the original series. They're focusing on Captain Pike, who was the captain of the Enterprise before Kirk, who was captain in the original series. And I've seen a bit of Discovery. I've seen the more recent, I think it was the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies, which I didn't really like. It felt like it was an action movie with a Star Trek skin on it. Because they're very action movie-esque, and I just see if they had the characters, but it was missing a certain Star Trek thing to it. It's just I don't know. And it's not to say that you can't have Star Trek movies. Of course you can. But I don't recall the recent Star Trek movies. I guess feeling Star Trek enough for me, I guess. Yeah, I just feel like an action movie that tried to have Star Trek name on it. Of course, people point out and I'll agree that some of the casting in that series of movies was really good. They've got people that really nailed, Spock and Uhura and all that. They nailed them really well. It's just an execution just felt like an action movie sometimes. Okay, you let me. What was the point of that? I guess like an area that was available in the story level, but not here. And part of why I haven't watched a lot of the recent Star Trek stuff is just it would be my upteenth streaming service that I don't know I would use beyond like a little bit, since everything and everybody and their mother wants to have a streaming service now. Ground for what he could do for Star Wars. I'll say the recent Star Wars movies. Just we'll just give them time to get fully judged, because people didn't like the prequel movies. They didn't like episodes 1 through 3, and now people look back, oh, they're actually really good, Okay, conveyor belt's moving, sweet. But I think episodes 7, 8, and 9 of Star Wars definitely suffered from you changed who was in charge of everything. So there was no consistent vision. And I'm sure there's people that have other issues too, some of which are just stupid. Yeah, I think the first Star Trek movie was alright. I thought it was good. I think it was after that is when I think another thing I don't know why, I probably shouldn't use it as a critique. He does alternate timeline thing, where it's like, oh, the planet of Vulcan is destroyed. Which I want to say, like, I hate that he did that, but I guess I still don't like that he did it. Just it could probably be a good, like, alternate timeline thing, or where it's I'd be okay if all this was done differently. But again, it seemed like after a while, so the Star Trek movies were just that he did were just action movies. There's something about Star Trek that I love it so much, maybe a little more than Star Wars sometimes. Because I love Star Trek and I love Star Wars. Star Trek is more sci and the sci-fi thing, and Star Wars is the more fi of the sci-fi stuff. Um, and I love Deep Space Nine because it had battle scenes in it. Dad will tell you he loves Deep Space Nine because it had the Dominion War for 5 of the 7 seasons. But with Star Trek, there's probably times where I might like it a little more sometimes because it's touching upon issues. There's a universe to it, and it's showing what our future could be. It's showing like this is what humanity can do once we actually embrace diversity and stop letting stupid people do stuff. Once we move past the capitalistic system, this is what our future can easily be. And the Star Trek movies that Abrams did just, I don't know, it's just it almost, it didn't feel like there was much there that required it to be the original series' crew. You could have told that story with probably some other people potentially. You had the framing of. It's the framing that Star Trek can give you. Again, it just felt like at a certain point, it's just like this really didn't need to be Star Trek. I don't know. It didn't feel like Star Trek. It just felt like it was just an action movie that just so happened to have a Star Trek skin on it, I guess. Because Star Trek is great at analyzing how we are. It's great at analyzing what humanity can be and demonstrating it. Because you can look at the Federation is definitely just trying to have a better universe for all, and the Klingons can certainly be us being, at our warrior self, and you could see Romulans and Cardassians being a certain way that nations can be, and the Ferengi are just straight up a critique of hypercapitalism, because everything is for sale and you can always make a profit, you can always make deals and all of that. Meanwhile, you have a double arm, I think, and a gun. Again, there's just something about the Abrams movies that just don't feel like Star Trek. It just felt like you're beating yourself. I know I am, but it's the only way I know how to put it. Is just action's fine, but Star Trek's at its best when it's telling stories, and it's able to, I guess, teach you lessons and comment on humanity, and that if we go for our best tendencies, then we can have a better tomorrow. We have a view of what that can look like once we all finally work together. And what I'll say about Deep Space Nine is that it can be a bit more actiony, but that's just because you're putting it in a war setting, and it lets Deep Space Nine gets to be the darker version of it all, which is probably why a lot of people didn't like it. It's like, oh, it's too dark. But it's something also that just it even in all the action and the war and all of that, you're left with the question of, and a couple times they literally ask it, how far do you go to save paradise? Because, or utopia, or whatever it might be. It's like, how far do you go? Because it's war. This is an enemy that is going to destroy everybody in the Alpha Quadrant. The Dominion doesn't care. They want to conquer because they want, unity and peace or whatever their view of everything is. They want complete control, and they can't have outside variables. Again, just it's at its best when you know that they're trying to analyze humanity and not just look at this cool, action sequence, look at this cool battle. There's reasons why it matters. There's lots of just analyzing. It's like human tendency. I have no problem with action. It's just that there needs to be more to it. And maybe I could rewatch the recent Star Trek movies and find that I'm being a little too harsh, but I don't know. I remember them being action movies with a Star Trek skin. That's what I recall of them. Again, the cast, fantastic. People they cast to be the various original series characters, great. They truly were. And now we got references to... I hope in all that rambling I made a point that you understand. If not, just feel free to ask for clarification because it helps me to talk more. Especially now that it's clear that my internet has finally calmed down, because now we're down to only 8% of my frames overall have been dropped. I probably just jinxed myself, I know, but yeah. I've probably seen bits and pieces of it. I don't think I've sat down and watched all of the original series. But there's definitely famous episodes. Again, there's the famous episode where James T. Kirk and Uthura, a white man and a black woman, shared a kiss. And all the southern stations just lost their freaking minds. I know that there's an alien species where there's one half of their face black, the other half is white. And there'd be, lessons in that too. And yeah, I'd like to. I don't want to say I haven't watched any of the episodes from start to finish. I feel like I probably have at least once at some point. It was probably by complete accident. But I haven't watched the entirety of the season from start to finish. I do know that Lucille Ball, who did the 1950s show I Love Lucy, was someone who's held in high regard in the Star Trek fandom because back in the day, apparently they did a pilot for the original Star Trek and it didn't go well. And apparently, I think it was she saw it well, I like this. I'll pay. And the girl killed the Italian job. Lucille Ball helped to have a second pilot of Star Trek shot and then have the show be made. So she's held in very high regard in the Star Trek fandom for helping to help that make Star Trek ever be a thing. Starting with the original series. And it's a fun thing of maybe to show at least how much I and probably a lot of millennials like myself are just, we are aware of probably a great number of things that might seem ancient long ago or whatever. And I knew I remember watching episodes of I Love Lucy. There's a show in black and white, that's how old it was, 1950s. I remember watching some of that. I hope you did, buddy. Also Three Stooges, which Three Stooges is just something that's just iconic and timeless anyway, I think, and more people should watch it if they haven't. But so for me, it's I remember watching I Love Lucy, which is actually still I remember people still want to watch it to this day, and it's still a funny show. Sorry, brain fart. What was I doing? I think I was going to grab a bucket. Grab my bucket full of water. Inserts. Mr. Bucket. Yeah, I'd like to watch the original series at some point just to say I watched it. There's probably some degree of it that hasn't held up. I mean, even Next Generation, which would have probably been the first Star Trek I watched, there would be things in there that might seem kind of cheesy and hokey and hokey. And I know there's a few episodes from Next Generation even that just people are like, yeah, the way they handled some issue just didn't quite. It was probably groundbreaking at the time, but it wasn't handled as well as it can be handled today. I want to say like one thing that comes up from time to time that they say didn't get handled very well might be anything around like how trans representation is. But then I'm not going to say Deep Space Nine doesn't have anything that like didn't age well. But I remember watching Deep Space Nine a few years ago, probably during the pandemic, and oh man, did some of that age like so much better. Some of the things they like mentioned in their issues they touched upon in there, especially around trans representation, is fantastic. Yeah, it was made in the '60s, and just it's there's people that watch the original like the original 3 Star Wars movies, and they look kind of cheesy or whatever, but it's like that was the time period. Also, you're laying the groundwork. We have what the newer Star Trek and newer Star Wars have looked like, and sci-fi has been changed by them. So things that they didn't really do back then or were groundbreaking at the time there. Now it's like, yeah, everybody does that. And you shrug at it. But it's like, yeah, I had to start somewhere. So, and there's where it started. But through a lot of even that cheesiness a little bit, again, there's still just going to be like great messages and lessons about, again, just like how we can get together and work together, and how just to not judge people and all of that. They can still be in there again. It's into the 1960s set design and writing and all of that. And there's definitely things that they just. So if you were to look at the bridge of that ship, to have it to be where you see like, oh, so like a black woman and a Japanese man and a Russian, okay, whatever, be understanding. This is 1960s, where that was a big deal to have a man of Japanese descent on the bridge of the ship. We had only fought World War II 2 decades prior against Japan. So we're dealing with like the last generation. We had only like a generation since the end of the Second World War, and we're in the midst of the Cold War against the Russians. Than a black woman being equal to all the other bridge officers? What? That's just a twofer right there. And again, you have like, oh my god, a white man and a black woman are kissing. And again, the Southern studios where you still had segregation happening. Southern studios were still just fighting it tooth and nail. Where they just a lot of them would have loved to go back to a century prior when the Civil War was happening, because they're fighting for states' rights. States' rights to do what? Use your words, people. It's so important. You'll know what right of the states they were fighting for, right? There's people that don't want to read a history book, but spoiler, the thing that states were fighting over, the 11 Confederate states were seceding over, was slavery. And the Confederacy was never punished. They just want to do it. Aw, shucks. They've suffered enough, right? Speaking from 2026, no, they did not suffer enough. Black people have never been given a truly equal footing in this country. They still haven't. I'd still like to watch it. And again, just going back to Next Generation, there'll probably be some things that are there that I still think that probably most of Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager has a problem of they have a Native American first officer, but apparently the guy they asked to be the advisor on Native American topics and all that, like either didn't know his stuff or he lied about knowing a lot. So that representation of Chakotay in Voyager is probably not the best. It's still a big deal, like, hey, you got Native American, but it's like it was. There can be a massive problem with representing Native Americans of people just want to treat like, oh, it's just one big monolithic thing, which no, it wasn't. There were hundreds, at least, of Native American tribes, while their own unique languages and laws and histories and religions and all of that. But I think I was going to give an example of a famous, like, pro-trans thing. So you have the species called the Trill, and their thing is that some of them get selected to be the host of a like slug-like creature, and these slug-like creatures can live for just like hundreds of years. So it becomes a very symbiotic relationship of the Trill that's selected. They get this slug in them, and the slug has a host, so that they get to like roam around, collect information, and all that. And the Trill carrying it around, they get all the memories and past experiences and all that from there. So you have like two beings just being able to like work together and collect more and more information. And it can bring up issues of, oh, well, this person was, like, you may have known a Trill that was a male that had a slug in it. In this case, it's the Dax symbiote. And then that slug can then Dax can go into from a male to a female, like we actually saw, where Curzon was the previous host, and we start with Jadzia Dax in Deep Space Nine. And there's kind of a weird thing of like the Trill, like, at least with romantic relationships, Trill cannot continue relationships from a prior life, which actually does come up at least once in Deep Space Nine. But you go from the male of Curzon to the female of Jadzia. And it's a way of like, Dax is still kind of around, and Curzon was known to hang out with the Klingons a lot. And there was a Klingon that came on board. He's like, Curzon, my dear friend. And Jadzia goes, it's Jadzia now. Jadzia, my dear friend. And people were like, that's how you treat people who are trans and have transitioned from one gender to the other. You just go, it's really hard to do. And you just like, Greg, how you doing? Well, it's Jill now. Jill, how you doing? You just flip a switch. Like, yeah, now they're Jill. And one great counterpoint people make to, or one point people make about, like, I can't use their new name. Yeah. Terry Bollea was Hulk Hogan. Kid Rock is not actually Kid Rock's name. I'm going by a fake name here, the Great Czar N, and just people can call me that. People that know me in real life are going to probably call me Nick like you do, but, the point still stands. Like, pro wrestlers change their name all the time. You look at their Wikipedia page, and they have a completely different name. So, to say that, yeah, my internet finally leveled itself out. I don't know why I was having a problem earlier, but the percentage of frames that are dropped is down. That should be the last time I mention it. Should be the last time I bring up the frame rate and all that. And there's a lot of just things they touch upon in just Star Trek as a whole. And just going with like Deep Space Nine, you can a couple of data have. I don't know what that key goes to, but it goes to something. But I think it's just like Deep Space Nine, for example. Again, it's about war and all of that, and they go over like the costs of war and how you deal with them, and there's an episode that goes over like how far do you go to win a war. Again, several times you go over what do you do to save paradise.
One bullet in her leg, the other went through her neck. Poor girl. This wasn't supposed to happen to her.
That's where we broke you down.
I don't like that the Wicked One stuck into Kowalski. That's not that. I don't like that. Granted, there's a nightmare, but still, that's just freaky. I think the box needs to go. We're breaking it anyway. Yeah, like Deep Space Nine going like, what do you do to save paradise? So the leaders of the Dominion are changelings. And there's like, oh my god, there might be changelings on Earth and all that. And they just almost went like a military lockdown. And so, like throughout there, there's, I think one of the episodes is called like Paradise Lost. And again, it's like, how far can you go to save paradise? There's another one where Captain Sisko is going over what he did to like get the Romulans into the war. And it was sketchy. You know, but it's that question of if it means you have enough people on your side to finally defeat an enemy that's going to destroy you, how far do you go? How much do you lie? How much do you cover up stuff? Yeah, Newman's Warehouse, Big Jim. Oh no, Big Jim is actually my boss you work for in the main story. That bag should be... You work for Big Jim actually several times. But yeah, that's the logo for the pizza place. And speaking of, just the end of that one episode where Sisko talked about how he got the Romulans into the war, it's a beautiful monologue of, you know, it's like, I can't recall it all offhand, but he's just talked about like, yeah, you know, I did things I'm not proud of, and you know, I was covering up crimes of one man to cover up the crimes of another, and at the end of it, he's like, the biggest thing of all is I can live with the cost. I can live with that. I did what was right. He determines that. And it'd be up for historians later on to determine, like, no, he went too far, or to think of, well, I mean, without it, the Romulans would have kept not being in the war, and you know, maybe all would have been lost in the Alpha Quadrant. And one that goes on about the cost of war is you have one of the characters, Nog, who gets wounded during, I think it's the siege of AR-557, I think is the name of the battle. And he loses part of his leg. And he's a minor character. He doesn't, or he's a side character. He doesn't show up all the time anyway. But just like for some episodes, he doesn't show up. But then when he does come back, he's walking walking with a cane. And that's part of his leg in war. And he's suffering through PTSD over it. And just his struggle to try to be okay with not hiding in the holosuite all the time. Because there's a point where he's talking to one of the hologram characters, and he just says, like, when I'm in this hollow suite, my leg doesn't hurt. And he's just like, I know that it's not supposed to hurt. No, scans don't show a reason for it and all of that. But my leg still hurts. And it goes over just, that episode just touches upon probably like PTSD and, injuries that soldiers will go through, and how, I'll say another thing, but it's that sometimes the worst wounds aren't physical, they're emotional. Because I think in that, like, he also mentions that part of what kind of like got to him was before he got injured, he just thought, oh, I'm invincible, I'll never get hurt. But then he got wounded at AR 557 and he could die. And just dealing with that PTSD and that realization of, oh, I could have died. And just how that can like really rattle you, potentially. I need to go up there. Let's see if I can shoot this level. Dang crap, I have to go over the freaking steps till now, mother. There we go. Because we also need to get up here. Again, just Star Trek's just beautiful storytelling, especially Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine was big also for, when you watch all the other Star Treks, or at least you watch like original series and Next Generation, which were the two that were preceding the first two Star Treks, they were very much like, oh yeah, you can like watch them in whatever order you want. There was no proper order. Every once in a while there'd be a character that would die, or like they would be like something that did change, but also to a great degree of just, just like you can watch them whatever order you want. But then Deep Space Nine was like, well, no, we have an overarching like story that needs to be told, and you gotta watch them in order. Which in television prior to streaming and all that could be a problem, because if they like move the show's time slot or whatever, then you could be inadvertently like missing an episode, or you like, oh, what's this show? Oh, I'm really confused by all the stuff that's going on. That's because you've missed like 3 seasons worth of television that you haven't watched yet. But then you have us in the streaming age where you can just sit there and just like stream, just like binge a series like it's nothing. That's just normal today. Yeah, just love me some Star Trek. Inspires us to be better. I'm really ready to break up these boxes. So I am. I think these count as trash because they're technically like damaged. So if these boxes were undamaged, that'd be one thing. But I think these boxes are technically damaged, so they must be disposed of, I'm imagining. I'm assuming. Right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm assuming. I should make an ass out of you and me if I assume. Probably going to run around this area for a very hot moment. So see if I can find where. Maybe there's like a little spittle of blood somewhere. Probably try around the black light, that could help. Chop, 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 chop. Heard a positive noise. Apparently something made it to the conveyor, to the truck. It's a trash bag or a body. I have to go walk down the conveyor belt to make sure nothing fell off. Series X. You're talking about like how to binge stuff, yeah. I mean, like DVDs and all that's how you used to, binge stuff. Is you just down all of the series on VHS or DVD, and it's probably always been the ability to like binge whatever it is, as long as you've had all the episodes of whatever it is, but just gotten remarkably easier in the streaming age. I'll always say is like people should have a choice. If you want to stream everything, fine. Yeah, it's like it really should be a choice of. There might be a lot of like video games and movies and shows. I'm like, I kind of like that. I don't necessarily want to own it per se. I'm like, it was nice. It's awesome. But then there are going to be those games and those movies and those shows. You're like, no, I want like a physical copy of it because it means so much more. That's how I am with like my video games. Like, I want to own certain ones because they mean so much to me. And we can certainly have that discussion about just like, there's all the reasons why people say that everything being on streaming is bad, because just be like, yeah, it's a big company, like, yeah, we're gonna take it off streaming now. Well, I can screw you. There's all those reasons as well, of course. But also just for me, it's just like, this just means so much that it can be like, if the power goes out, the internet goes out. It's good to know you can watch it no matter when. And you just feel like, ooh, I'm putting like the disc in, I'm doing that. And you can still kind of get that with. It goes back to why people say that streaming and. Not streaming, but like Steam and GOG and all that on PC are not the same as what the game consoles are doing. Because the game consoles are like, well, you can buy it from our storefront or from our storefront, and that's it when it comes to digital. There's no other storefront. Meanwhile, with PC, if Steam or GOG or any of them want to try, like, oh no, we can do whatever we want. They digital rights matter. Everybody's like, well, movie or show collection. I've got some movies that are from the Studio Ghibli. Also, they're called Miyazaki films because of Miyazaki being the lead dude. They're awesome. They're much awesome movies as well. Some of the great Studio Ghibli films are My Neighbor Totoro, Spirited Away. I need to watch some like Princess Mononoke is another one that people really, really love. I'm gonna have you over here at some point. Maybe we can just take some time and just watch one of those so I can show them to you. Show you at least one of them. Because again, they're great movies.
The trash can first.
Sorry, getting up this trash bag. I definitely probably haven't gotten as many DVDs of stuff over the years as I really probably should have. Used to have a bunch of VHSs of stuff, and then DVDs, gotten some DVDs of stuff. I think like my great collection of media was probably always my video games. Because it wasn't like I didn't have movies and shows that I've loved over the year. It was just I can have a very weird. I mean, the weird thing of like, oh, like you watch like, you know, like.
All work, no play.
I think like, you know, like watch back when it was just WWE, like, oh, you watch like Raw and SmackDown every week, you know. Of course, I was also like I'd watch whatever TV show was on at the same time as well on syndication. So, but it's like, yeah, I can like watch a wrestling show that takes all these hours, but then like go watch a movie the same length. Like, I don't know. I'll get to it later. Of course, that's just my neurodivergent brain just being like, I'm not in the proper mindset for whatever it is. That's usually when it's just like if somebody else is watching it, I'll watch it. You know, it's because of other people that I've definitely watched a good number of movies and shows. But then other ones that just catch my attention. So there's, I know people talk about like BoJack Horseman, for example. I just heard so much about it, like, oh, I'll sit down and watch it eventually, and then I did. Yeah, I need to see if I can get more DVDs of things. Again, just like for whatever reason, it's just like, I don't know, just, I don't want to say like most other things I'd watch on TV was just like one and done and be gone, but I think also I'd always getting a new video game. And with pro wrestling, like, there's always something new. And I didn't watch the pay-per-views, so it's just, I was just used to just not seeing them, you know. And maybe at a time I would have been getting more DVDs of stuff. That's when streaming was really starting to like take off. I think streaming did start, you know, probably truly in earnest at some point during my time in college. I remember watching movies on Netflix with Deanna. I remember that. When school wasn't murdering us, that is. But I've certainly over the years been like, yeah, I like this. Again, like the Studio Ghibli films, I really like them, so I'm gonna buy them. You know, I've got a couple of random DVDs that are pro wrestling related. I know I have the Kevin Owens documentary that they did when he was there. I think he debuted like, he hadn't been there long. I know on the cover, Kevin Owens is holding the Universal title. So it was like early on in Kevin Owens' time in WWE, in the grand scheme of things. I own that DVD because I specifically asked for it. I think there was, I think I've got like two DVDs that are like, you know, like top 50 moments in Nitro. I think there's another one of like, you know, like WWE Off the Air where it just shows stuff that it's like things that happened like after the cameras went off. Love to have a list of few wrestling related things went DVD collection. Yeah, just that's. I know that AEW. I think AEW does their DVDs still. I know that I've certainly just like eyed their store from time to time, and yeah, maybe there's like a. I know that one thing I'd love to have as physical media at some point would be just AEW Revolution 2024, the show that we went to, just because that's like, if we didn't live in such a digital age, we would have, I'd be saving the ticket, and that'd be my thing. And it's not like I didn't have anything physical from there. I mean, it's just like I got several shirts, I've got pictures and all that. But if I could have the ticket, that would have been amazing. But there were no physical tickets because we live in the 2020s, and They don't want to give us physical tickets anymore for whatever stupid reason. But like, they have like the physical DVD of that show. They're like, okay, this is my way to show this show super special to me because I was there for Sting's last match with my brother. And just, if people were to ask me what's the greatest match I was in person for, I mean, just Takeshita and Ospreay. And it's not even close. Because most of the live events I've gone to have been weekly shows, and there's, probably been like, of course, there's probably been like really good wrestling matches that I've been there in person, but just with AEW just being a lot more about the wrestling, then it's almost not even close. But it is not close, especially when you have it to be where it's a pay-per-view. It's not weekly television. That's just going to be 10 shades of even more freaking amazing. Let's get the thing.
Refreshing the air.
Secondhand markets. Oh yeah, secondhand markets probably have everything. You could probably also just buy an illicit copy of the show as well if you want to. I'm certain that you and I could probably just find a way to illegally put it onto some physical media if we wanted to. But I'm certain if you were to, I know for a fact you could just look around the secondhand markets, you'd find someone selling it for probably a lot more than it was originally, which, good on them, whatever. But just that thing, of course, if you're going to be having, like, it was more than it was, you're dealing with scalpers. Well, there might be people that know what they've got. Again, it's like if you get like Revolution 24, it's like it's a DVD that contains Sting's last match. You want a physical copy of it. That's just that thing of if you know you're wrestling really well, then someone can be like, hey, I know what I got. Because they knew they should know what they got. I won't begrudge them for it. You look at secondhand market, you can probably find great number of things. Some may not be original, they might just be like copies, and some of them might be like really blooming expensive, depending on what it is and all that. But certainly if you look, you can find it. Jump. So there's people that could probably give you a digital copy of whatever it is that you own. Because that's how they just be. It's like, here's the files. You have to be mindful that they're not like a virus or something, of course, but right now I'm trying to think about, I know I mentioned like Revolution 24, I'd want to have a physical copy. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I'd want to have a physical copy of. I don't know. Because there's not that many other pay-per-views / PLEs that I've gone to. So the only other pay-per-view thing I've gone to was a Clash of Champions in 2019. Which that was probably before everybody saw this AEW thing. Went, oh, AEW is good. Oh.
Sorry, Tyler. This isn't the kind of trouble I can get you out of.
That's where we devoured your soul.
That Kowalski. Insert into your PC and your DVD drive just explodes, something like that. Yeah. Or a good antivirus, then you could somewhat avoid that and mitigate that, I guess. But you probably have a bigger problem with that potentially with like if you had like a sketchy website. Bookit. I need to grab my Bookit. Bookit. Bucket. Bucket of suds to make washing easier. And Kowalski's nightmares are kind of terrifying.
I can remove up to 99% of harmful particles from here.
Deposit. I'm probably gonna go punt through the building for any trash bags or booties that fell off the conveyor belt. But
Standby mode activated.
oh my god, standby mode. That's why you're coming with me. Why are you going standby mode activated? I'm done. Ain't worried. Me. Pick up the trash. Pick up the trash. Scrub dub dub, scrub dub dub. Bullets, 'cause somebody got shot. Shattered coffee cups, 'cause coffee cups got shot. Put the trash bag here, 'cause it's in my way. Okay. Not all the sing-songing done, but that's some of the sing-songing done. To the next batch of sing-songiness. Okay. Got another. 100 effect. Nope. Okay. There you. Nope. Okay. Gotta wash you in the bucket. Yeah. The story level of this, I don't think the conveyor belts are quite. I don't think they're quite this confusing or confounding. Again, this is a nightmare Kowalski trying to reflect on. Right now, this is a nightmare level of the last mission of Act 1, so it's just. You had to probably crawl all over the place in a way that's not actually natural. The conveyor belts can go all over the place. It's not making me. Kind of making me think now of Satisfactory, which is on consoles if you ever want to have something to do for a few hundred hours. You can definitely make some conveyor belt spaghetti out of that. I thought about as a possible game to stream while I still didn't have my Xbox controller was potentially satisfactory, but I know that if I did that, then I'd want to play it a whole lot more, which let me just do a quick check. I keep seeing it marked. There's a bunch of trash bags, so let me just. See if I can get some of these together. Don't fall. Motherfucker, did I say you could follow the goddamn conveyor belt? You sons of bitches. What are y'all doing? Don't lay here. I can have it comfortable for you. I say that about to throw you in the back of my pickup truck. I might have played the 4th episode for Duke Nukem. I don't know. But I said. Say there's one more trash bag. Where is it? Plump, right on that side. So when it comes to like playing all the episodes of like of a lot of the first-person shooters around that time, it might be that I've played through like a certain section of them, and then maybe levels got like a little too hard, and never did finish them potentially. It's possible I played it though. I don't remember. It might be I played through it like once, and I just don't recall because it's been so long. I'm definitely one to just. It's probably a fair question to ask. Have I played a game? Not have I completed a game? Because I've played through, not played through, but I've played a lot of games. Back when Blockbuster was still a thing. I kind of do it now, even with Game Pass. And that's probably more of where streaming can come into play, where I can kind of take the place of, hey, you can rent a game now. Like, hey, you can like stream it real quick and then get a physical copy of it if you really want to. At least some of the bigger games. I'm going to bring my bucket. Faucet up here. Hey, buddy. Better take a load off. I'm just going to go grab my bucket. Grab my bucket. Maybe kind of. I am kind of rethinking my comparing it to a Blockbuster thing. I think the only reason it's a bad comparison is that Blockbuster at least gave you like physical media. I think GameFly is probably a bit closer analog to a modern day Blockbuster, because they'll send you physical media. Of course, obviously Gamefly and Blockbuster did kind of overlap. So I don't know if there's like a modern day Blockbuster really. Now that I kind of think about it. You're getting pedantic. I know. I know. Hey, no laying down next to the conveyor belt. I'd lose a finger or something. So that's like a major concern for y'all probably, being, you know, dead. But get the conveyor belt. Get rolling. Mother. Frickity-da-day. Frickity-da-day. I spilled blood. Crap. I hope clean that up. Oh no. Or is it like gonna... I guess they're giving me slack. Apparently, like, it didn't technically dirty it. But I saw it. I saw what I did. It was bad. Dump. Trying to make sure I don't spill the water. I'm not gonna spill blood, obviously, but yeah, hurry up, Bubba. Taking a while. Get your ass back my pickup truck. Taking a while. I need to eventually probably bury your body. 'Cause you're dead. 'Cause somebody potentially shot you. Scrub the flow. Punchy. I think I still need to clean the red. For the blue. Scrub it all up. There. You will go there. I occasionally do, yeah. I sometimes do. Within a game that might just like take a while, I mentioned Satisfactory earlier, I'll occasionally just throw on podcast or just listen to like a bunch of YouTube videos from someone. So if I discovered somebody new, I'll just like stream through all their videos, and it'll occasionally lead to it kind of like imprinting permanently on my brain, where if I either watch or listen to the thing again, or if I'm playing the game again, I'll just be reminded of the
So much blood. I'm seeing red now.
person or the thing that I was watching, listening to. I'm not doing it now because I'm presuming at some point I'd have an audience to want to speak to me. I know there's also like some degree of, I want to say I can like get away with listening to or playing music on stream, but I'd rather not. I'd rather be sure that's like some royalty-free stuff, and even then, I'd probably rather just. Well, one, it would probably be like vocal without vocals, and yeah, any game where it's gonna be like this, where there's not. I wouldn't necessarily do it for like Red Dead Redemption 2, for example, because it's just there's like stuff going on, there's a story going on, but with something like Satisfactory, where you're going to be spending long stretches of time just building factories and conveyor belts and all that, or something like this where you're it's like cleaning without much of any dialogue or any kind of like story update. Just it can fill in the dead space, I guess. And if you were actually cleaning somewhere, crime scene or otherwise, that's what you do. You would just like throw on a music playlist or a podcast, possibly. I think I have. Yeah, I have. I have done that while playing Star Trucker. Yeah. Because again, there's just the music is great, but also like there's not that many songs in Star Trucker after a while, so it's just like let me just like listen to something else entirely.
They got a lot of dirt on you, didn't they?
And now, you are now one of us. All hail the wicked one.
All hail the wicked one.
That's freaky. But yeah, again, so like anything where there's going to be long stretches of time where there's just not a lot of dialogue or anything like that, like Star Trucker, like this, I'll do that. And people have pointed out that what would have been interesting for like per centuries, people would be sitting around and they'd be churning butter, or they'd be weaving, or they'd be just like doing some work in groups. They just sit around, would just like talk to each other. And people frame it as like that's kind of like the ancient way of like doing podcasts. Of course, also just a thing of like, hey, you're like communicating with your fellow people. But that's just how news and gossip and theories and all that would pass around. Instead of listening to a podcast, somebody talking about it, you'd be talking with people about it. Which, yeah, something we should go back to. And maybe there's just some degree. I know there's people that'll do the co-working streams, which I've definitely. At some point, I'll have a job again, and maybe that's something I'll just do at some point. Is just stream while I'm doing, work, and people can just tune into it and do work as well. It's definitely a ADHD neurodivergent thing of like, well, if somebody else is working, I can work alongside that person. It's both like get together somewhere and like work on tasks, which I should probably see if I can partake in that more often sometimes, because maybe that would actually help me get certain things done. Nope. I want the power washer. There we go. Grab. Okay. That's all the blood. I think I know the last bits of furniture I need to do. Close these drawers. Close these drawers. Close that drawer. Close that drawer. That drawer. That over there. Mother of hell. Do I want? Alright. Okay. I think I just need to make sure that trash bags and bodies. Good. What time is it? About 6 p.m. I will get this level done. I'll step away for a moment to feed Olive, then I'll be back and I'll. Not sure what I'll do next. Stupid little area. Just gonna let that one conveyor belt just hopefully just keep carrying that. Okay, this piece of furniture also not in the proper place here. Where's that trash bag up there? Maybe I just dumped it here and just didn't get back to it. Okay. So hall 1's all done. Hall 2, you're saying this piece of furniture not in its proper. I know. Okay. Alright, now I know what's missing. That metallic thing needs one more arm. I was assuming that I'd find it in another area. Probably won't, actually. Okay. Okay, no lost bodies. Here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna speed up these conveyor belts. Okay, so I'm just gonna check these hallways one more time. 1, 2. Buckle my shoe. Actually, slow down that conveyor belt a little bit. Slow it down. Okay. This was a scratch. A scratch your arms off. No, it isn't. What's that then? I bet it was. You lie. Come on, you pansy. It's still weird that one arm was not metallic like the others, but man, that's the point. Hall 3 is done. Just want to make absolutely sure. I spent almost 2 hours doing this. 4 is done. 5 is done. Ooh. And we gotta mouse this. No mouse. Okay, it's done. Okay. Jump. Okay. Around parking. I did not find the music disc actually. Let me go search for that music disc real quick. Where? be in that last area, actually. There's probably another secret area that I'm not remembering or I may not have found because I played through the nightmare levels on the console version of this ages and ages ago. I'm actually about been. No, this is a required area. I don't know if I'd hide it there, because that's all kind of. Well, no, they said this is a secret. But I guess you don't have to go up here. I don't know, as long as the person performed it well, I don't know if it would really matter who it was. I think it's just a really well acted character. It doesn't really matter who it was. Because the lines are funny. It's not because, oh, it's only because of so and so's performance. It's just, it was a great character. As long as it performed that way, it would have still been great. Yeah, I feel like that music disc that I'm thinking of is actually squirreled away in a secret area that I'm just woefully unaware of. Maybe at some point I'll know if it'd be on a stream or whatever. Maybe I'll like see about actually trying to get all the collectibles at some point. Might be an offline thing where I just need them to do one day. Is there any kind of hidden whatever down here that I is missing? Nope. Nope, sorry. I'm just gonna let me just finish the level and go feed Olive, then I'll see if I can figure out what I want to do next. No, alright, it has to be these or nothing else. Okay. I was wondering if, like, maybe I reassembled that, but with, like, different parts, whether that do anything, but no. I'd have to check to see how long I've had it. I want to say 2023, 2024. Maybe. Gotta have to check. I only had it in my library for a while. Call it jerk. All the blood, all the trash, all the furniture, all the evidence, all the bodies. Complete. Yeah, I have no clue what that music disc was. Well, it's a nightmare level. He's not actually getting paid for it, so. Okay, I'm missing several music discs actually. Alright, let me go feed Olive, then I'll be right back. we are back and we are going to. Oh, and also check real quick before I stepped away. I've had this game since, judging by the first achievement I got, since September of 2024. So it's closing in on 2 years that I've had this game. Um, I am tempted to challenge myself with this level with True Cleaner because I should be able to do it pretty well. I'll at least do this level and then I'll see how much time I have left. Alright, True Cleaner. I do not have cleaner sense, and apparently there's some upgrades that just do not work.
Big Jim. The man you never want to mess up with. Or even know in the first place. To kill his own family like this. His name will haunt me until my grave.
Mr. Cleaner, are you there?
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Kowalski. I'm now taking charge of this place as an inheritance from my cousin, so my schedule is pretty tight. However, you can take your time while dealing with his body and this whole mess.
Thanks. I'm getting down to work.
That's what I like to hear.
The trident was fun, but I'd like to use an actual. Actually, same with the. What? You got your food. These actual sponges. I can't help it. Okay. The only thing I have to be fearful of is I completely miss something. Print there. Yes, yeah, so here Olive can be kind of demanding of whatever it is she's trying to demand. Not need demand, but Ricochet can just like his bald self, but yeah. Just... Being tempted to hit it with a cleaner sense, but there's no cleaner sense. My eyes just blow, even though I've got the black light where I need it to, and that's on me. Okay. And saying nope. What? No, you know how this works. There's some after I give you your dinner, and then I get you to eat dinner later. You know how this works. eat dinner. Wipe, wipe, wipe. Okay. We are going to bloop. Put some of that there. Put some of that there. I didn't either, but that was one of the skins for the sponge, so. Skin is definitely good at not taking itself too seriously.
Welcome to Miko Spa and Wellness, place which you never want to leave.
Well, okay, some people ain't nope, some people ain't never leaving again. So
Let's get rid of that.
that would be good.
My janitor training comes in handy once again.
Aw, gee. Well, I'm looking at this other. Oh, yeah, that's the bonus one for that one. I think now currently working for. I think this is. Holy water. Then we pick you up, then we put you right there. I think I might know one of the good because like I don't have cleaner sense. I don't have certain upgrades. Some of the areas they might remove is that I can actually create blood trails. Just open that door. This door, walk in here. So now I'm gonna have boom. I'm guessing in regular mode that's got something in it. Now we're gonna wash this. We also gonna update the title real quick. I'm not doing nightmare level right now. Does it even matter? No, but matters to me, by God. I just unpin that message like my internet. Feels like internet did settle down, so I don't have to put that message like, hey, if the stream is going sideways, tell me. Well, somebody just got messy, that's why there's a mess in the poo. Need to pick a poo in the poo, of course, if making a poo and there's red, then that's definitely a medical problem. I want to get that figured out. cleaned up. Put you right back there. Ah, gee. Scrub dub dub. Get rid of the blood. Scrub dub dub. That over there, could I make it look bad? Right there too, right up there. I'll definitely want to see if I can try to do the true cleaner challenge for all of the levels, but I will. Some of them I'll probably want to go through them first and just reacquaint myself with where stuff is. While also having a nice healthy dose of praying to God that I don't like miss something. I know that I had one thing one time where I was like, there's one piece of trash left, and it was a bullet like lodged under a frickin' counter.
What the actual fuck? I've seen people slicing pizza with this.
First time for everything, I guess. Sending a message, possibly. Gruesome.
One slice to the throat did the trick. Pretty quick death, given the circumstances.
Yeah. Oh, I can't reach. Okay. I want to say there's 8 or 10 in the base game. I think. I could be wrong. But I think there's 8 or 10 in the base game. Community added in 2 levels. And I don't know what's in Act 2. I don't know how many are in Act 2 yet. So... random ballpark figure, let's say there's 16 now across the PC version, because I don't think console's gotten the Act 2 levels yet. But I haven't played through Act 2 to know how many levels there are in Act 2 yet. So, but there's quite a few. It's one where you buy it, you get your money's worth, because there's a lot of time in there. And then, yeah, they added in the Nightmare and True Cleaner challenges for at least Act 1. I don't know if Act 2 has them yet, but... Okay, being polite and not putting it, like, everywhere. So if it's not there, it's not there. Okay, cool. Again, I don't get to know if it's 100% until the very end, so...
Just think of the money, think of the money.
Shit. Fuck. I have no clue if the community has... I don't think the community levels, the 2 they added in would have nightmare versions. I have true cleaner versions, not nightmare versions. Well, that's probably the go-to of a lot of games where it's just... With the PC, it's probably going to be a bit... It would be a bit easier to release patches for... PC, because PlayStation and Microsoft are going to have super stringent standards. So you could probably get away with a bit more when it comes to updates on the PC versus the console. Even though I'll say that Rockstar probably does consoles first because consoles are easier to handle than PC, but because with PC there's the graphics cards and the processors and the settings and the this and the that. And so again, it's just there's probably just non-programming reasons in many ways why it's going to be better just to put it on PC first and then console. Ooh. Wheels get stretched. Okay. Methinks that's all the blood in here. Me's are going to place. Me's are going to turn into Jar Jar Binks for a second, apparently, as well. But I'm going to place that there. Scrub these steps, really covered in blood. Oh my god. Oh my god, they're so dirty. Not dirty, but dirty. Ah, crap. Okay, yeah, that is Jar Jar Cleaner, yes. Alright, so that is an upgrade that they disable, is I can actually restain stuff if I try to clean with a dirty mop. I got an upgrade where I can't cause stains by walking through blood or using a dirty mop. But with True Cleaner, I can. Which isn't the end of the world, it's just annoying. You're just like, crap, I just cleaned that. Then you, as you saw, just you put like a giant smear of blood right there. Or what you're presuming and hoping is blood. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Oh crap, okay. So I need to go to my bucket. Oh god, okay. Over here. And then we do some of that. And then we're right back over there. Like a Batman. Okay, gotta start diving up the dirt.
Clear the way first.
Fine, I'll move my freaking UV light there. Good now.
Interior design is my passion.
Well, that's good to know, Kowalski. Clear this crime scene also needs to be your passion. Bubba. That goes there. And this will go here.
Someone was feeling stabby today.
Stabby, stabby. Stabby, stabby. I'll clean the messy mop. Yep, exactly. Just like Viscera Space clean up. You gotta be mindful of it. Now you go with me.
Huge guy. Probably a bodyguard. Swiss cheesed with a sharp object.
Like an ice pick. Kobe. There.
Fully relaxed, not knowing someone is about to stab him. Peaceful death. To some extent.
Yes. Might end up being the last. You need to go right here, and you need to go right there.
Remember not to stay in the sauna for too or negatively affect your well-being.
I feel like they got bigger problems than the sauna, but
The NB letters on his tattoo could stand for Norman Bates. Or Nomad Block, the notorious street gang. Either way, he shouldn't have gotten in Jim's way.
probably not. No, I don't advise. Scrub dip dip, screen the crime scene, no crime happened here, what are you talking about? Yeah, I don't know if staying in the sauna too long causes their sleep disturbance or affected their well-being. I feel like potentially the bullet holes had a bigger problem, had a bigger say in their well-being than anything else. Run, 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 run. Skip, 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 skip. Pussies. Men's Soccer 14. Oh, by God, I need to go check that out at some point. Maybe next time I clean my mops. Or sponges. Yeah. Yes, I'm sorry that could be Skittles' next advert. But I
Shot dead at close range. This must be Mike.
don't know where they could air said commercials.
Former owner of this place. I knew he always wanted to get at me. But he crossed the line by getting in contact with the other gangs. And nobody ever crosses Big Jim.
Hey, at least it's more work for me.
That's the spirit.
Yay? Clean the rainbow, taste the rainbow is one they could probably work with, yeah. Yeah, they can definitely do something with clean the rainbow, taste the rainbow, potentially. I'll leave it to the marketing people to determine how that would work. I'm kind of craving Skittles. What else we got in here? Please tell me I got all the blood. I kind of see something up there. Oop, nope, 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 nope. There we go. Oops. See, that's not supposed to be there neither. Okay. Methinks that's how clear I know you. Okay.
Shit. Easy peasy.
I need to drain the pool.
Our solarium guarantees a very even tan all over the body. Please enjoy it to the fullest.
More like a very balanced barbecue experience all over the body.
Beth, I'm bored out of my mind, honey. Beth, been here for an hour. Mike, just 10 more minutes, baby. Mike, I'll make it up to you. Beth, buy me a jacuzzi like the one you have here. Mike, when we take Jim out, we can sell this whole business. Mike, and go fuck each other's brains out in Malibu.
She was Mike's wife, apparently. They were planning a coup, but Jim outsmarted him.
Yep. Yippers.
That's what I call a gruesome death. The pursuit of beauty can be fatal.
It can be. Plus, I think I saw him around the glass door. Get there.
Sorry for what happened, ma'am. We don't think about it daily, but the human body is such a soft machine.
It do be. It do be. It Scooby Dooby Dooby. Yep, that's definitely how it can be in here too, where just you're spending forever trying to find a certain spot. Except with this, it's just
That's a piece of work.
we're doing like the regular mode. It'll just eventually show you, but with this, you're gonna have to actually find it. Okay. I think I'm doing true cleaner. I'll have cleaner since I'll have some of my upgrades, so I'm kind of just trying to one part remember and one part just be good at using this black light to find it all.
VIP access denied.
Thank you. I don't want VIP access, bitch. Well, that's harsh, I know, but still.
Keeping up with those pasta eating mama mias make me sick. But that's our best shot at taking out Big Jim. I got connections with his cousin Mike from the old school days. I'm gonna sweet talk him into slipping some poison into Jim's family dinner. Your job? Make sure no funny business happens during our meeting.
They had a well thought out plan. Mike and Rick could execute well, but got executed instead.
Definitely a funny little meme that was in the phone as well. Yep, memes be a part of the world, so you might as well sprinkle them in.
another one.
Another one. Apparently it's another one. Better know today.
No taint is safe against me.
And yeah, the real challenging part when it comes to doing true cleaner, it comes down to just, did you move all the objects back? Make sure you got all the trash, which is why I'd like to, before I do any more true cleaner, try to see if I can go through the levels again. Because there's no highlighting of where it is at all.
I'll have to search the lockers for evidence as well. Apparently, criminal savoir-vivre does not allow taking weapons to the sauna.
Hey yo, this is my demo song for Rockefeller Records. And hey, here we go. Hey yo, I'm the shit. Rick better sign me quick. I'ma find Big Jim and end him with a rice and ice cold since the day one. No man block, the prodigal son. I'ma do it with your mom. What? The fuck you want from my mom? Wait, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, man.
What the kids nowadays say? Not making it out of the hood with this one.
Nope. Nope, definitely not. Not making it. Definitely not making it out of the hood with that one. I think I've got everything required. I'm gonna help it at all. Alright. Okay. Yes! Okay, I did miss a clue, but I have no clue what I was missing. I'd have to play this level just like normally to tell you. So we'll see if it's enough to like say like, hey, I did it or not. Awesome. I could do a little better. I get the last piece of evidence, and I did get the new washer. Nice. Every generation has their goofy things that they say. Alright, I'm going to attempt this one as true cleaner, and then that might be the last one I do. We'll see if I have time for one more after, but I'll at least get this. Try to get this one done. Yeah, just going back to like the things that kids will say these days and all that. It's just plenty of sayings that millennials and Gen Z have come up with. So
I don't even want to imagine such a thing, because I already know that I would do anything to save her.
And some of the sayings continued on. Others didn't.
Beautiful place with not so beautiful aftermath. Bookie. Yeah, waterproof cardboard. I'll see what the problem is. One map, 2 maps. 1 water gun, 2 water guns. Alright. So we is a gonna oh, the dead body. Dead body gonna make that mess all over again. So what other trash cans do I have? Do I have anything special? I got several actually, I know. Let's go with that one.
I think this is the one that if I complete Toxic Love, this is what I can get an upgrade to. Alright. Put that right there. Mop it up. Mop it up. Mop it up. There, we'll put you here. Still technically dirty. There. Okay. And boop. And boom. There. And we're just gonna move it right back there.
Fine now.
Yay. Okay. I'll get the wall up that wall. Gosh, kind of scared me for a second. Yeah, you can call it Jim's Gym. Yeah, you could do that. You can also call it like something like Gym Squared. You got options if you do that. You really do. Scrub-a-doob-doo.
Just think of the money. Think of the money.
Dad, it's all Kyle's fault. First he got you hooked on drugs. Now he's going to turn my baby girl into a whore. Jane, you don't get it. We're soulmates. We're in love. Dad, it's not love. This is a disease. If he hurts you again, I will fucking end him. Jane, you do that and I'll kill myself. Stay out of my life, you sick fuck.
Hate
So.
will tear us apart, one family at a time.
Yeah, so clearly, father and daughter are not getting along terribly well. Shoot. Okay. Going to clean up the blood because it's so dirty. Even though I'm going to have to remove the leaky dead body first. But we'll get to the leaky dead body when we get to the leaky dead body.
Someone brought extra arguments for family talk.
Power of the porch. Shit. Do, 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 do. Shit. You do not be Slayer. You do be correct. You do be on something there. All right. Deep, 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 deep. Ooh, you look less than alive, Bubba. Damn. Right there, Said there.
Neat little hiding spot. Didn't work though.
Oh, we did not. Hey there, buddy. You're kind of in the
Let
damn
me
way.
guess. An angry father had a little chat with his daughter's no good boyfriend.
Let's see. Get into the thing, Bubba.
That should lift the lockdown. Well, well, well. Look what we got here. Fuck. Screw this. I'm in. Voila.
Okay, so opening secrets may or may not be worth all the time in the world. It might be a thing where we've heard more Slayer songs than we recognize, but we don't know it because we don't know Slayer. I know that Raining Blood's one of their songs because of. Nah, actually, I lost my thought there, but yeah, it's probably a thing. It's possible we've heard parts of Slayer songs, just not recognized it. His blood, it made it dirty. That ain't good.
It's hard to get used to this. There. No one will even notice.
Hopefully. That is a footprint. Speaker. And no black line. Oh yeah, where's the blood? Oh no, there is a footprint. Footprint be gone. Oh yeah, clean that up. We will Pick up all this glass. We got here. Yes, nothing in here for a true cleaner. Thank you, thank you. I will be here for a few more minutes. There, that'll go there. Kyle, yo, I think I found your dream hoe. Come today, let's make a deal. Dale, does she meet the requirements? Kyle, of course, man, 23 years old, blonde, just your type. Dale, sounds good. Send her to me.
Poor Jane. All she did was to catch the eye of the wrong man.
Yeah. Fuck you. Fuck you and your human trafficking. Keep hitting my one button for cleaner sense, and I don't get it. Fuck. Yep, thank you. I was just banging on that drum.
I see that Plan B had to be put in motion.
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say so. Because I also think there'd be very little. There's not going to be probably a lot of people that are going to compare to their lock-ins anyway when it comes to drum playing, so.
Like no one was ever here.
Yeah, like no one's ever here, yeah. Goes there. I think the globe goes there too. Hey, it did goes there. There, thank you is Trosh. Go there, and you know what? You're gonna go right there. Yes, globe. Globe went home. Oh, God. Oh, it felt good. How to get stretch. Okay. Well, globe can still teach you about the world, so.
Holy fuck. He did not mention this. Does he even? No?
Seems like tragically that daughter wasn't kidding. She was gonna kill herself. Oops. Oops.
She warned you all.
Yep, she did.
Exhausted from drugs and toxic relations. She went out on her own terms.
Yep, tragically. So it's important to have good people around you. I need to look out for teens and young adults because we have a lot of hormones just swirling at that time, and I used to believe true love would set me free from my family home, which I saw as my prison. When I finally found love and decided to run away with you, it was like all my dreams had come true. I never imagined we'd be so miserable together. You got me to believe that drugs will solve our problems, fix our relationship. Things only got worse. I loved you, but you can only love yourself. Now I have nothing left to live for. Nothing.
Her last farewell to this wretched world.
So very tragic. Again, this game can be just like funny, silly, haha, like being playing with water guns, but it's still a dark, morose game. So the nightmare levels really just seem to go almost like full tilt into just, yeah, it's Kowalski's nightmares. Yeah, don't do drugs, and if you feel like killing yourself's the only answer, no, it ain't. There's always someone who cares. Let's put that there. Don't do drugs, and look out for your people, and reach out for help if you need it. Methinks that's everything. Last bit of blood that I have to keep avoid cleaning up, so it's gonna have more of it. Let's see if I got it all. Getting through these true clear levels really fast. Okay, apparently something didn't go back into place and I missed a piece of evidence. I'd have to just go through these levels again to remember everything. Oh, I remember it. The first time I played the level and I saw that, I was just flabbergasted. I'm like, whoa, yeah, this game does get dark. Let's see, 717. Next one, short circuit. I think in development hell there's supposed to be. Yeah, there's also a true cleaner one for that as well. I do not remember this level well enough to do a true cleaner, at least not yet. Things left behind an Amber Alert. One, two, three, 4, 5, 11, 12, 13, 14. So there's an answer to your other question, how many levels are there? There's at least 14. I know there's several more levels in Act 2. Again, I haven't gone through all of them yet. But there's at least 14 levels there. There's 10 in Act 1 and then 2 in Community. So. Red dot. Yeah, okay, the red dot's like I just did the mission, or there is a mission. White means I've completed it. Blue's challenge and gold is perfect. Perfecto. Perfecto. Alright. So I do want to play Helldivers later on if you'd like to join me. I'll put up the ping in Discord. I don't know if I've been getting through these true clear levels faster than I think. I don't. I would want. I'm at the point now where I've already seen 2 levels in a row now where I've missed something. Not the end of the world, but um, all right. So I'm gonna end stream now, and I'll be on Helldivers later if you want to join me again. I'll ping the Discord. Um, so. But thank you for hanging out, and I suppose I will talk to you later. Then either tomorrow or Saturday, I'll have my new Xbox controller, so I'll get back to Red Dead at that point. So I will talk to you later.